What's going on, guys? It's Thanovic. Today I'm bringing you a video I should have brought you a very long time ago, but I finally decided to get around to it. So today we're going to be covering rotations and positioning. Now these are two things that I should have done in the past, and while I did focus on mechanics for actually I think all of 2020 I focused on mechanics, this time around, this week, I've decided I'm going to look at the more game sense side of the game, and it is something I haven't actually covered in the past at all. I have decided to cover the more game sense side of things after seeing an overwhelming amount of questions in the comments about it and why I haven't covered it in the past, which is completely fair. So if there is something you want me to cover in a future video, make sure to leave it in the comment section below. All of the games that you see in today's video were played live on stream, and so if you don't follow me on Twitch, make sure to head over and check us out over there. Join in with the live sessions and be part of the team. We recently hit 100,000 followers, which is absolutely amazing, and for that, I'll probably end up doing a few giveaways over on my live streams very soon, so make sure you don't miss out, and I hope you enjoy the video. Now, when it comes to Rocket League, people tend to categorize you as one of two things. You are either a mechanical-based player or a game sense-based player. And while this channel has focused mechanics quite a bit, it's time we take a look into the game sense, specifically these rotations and positioning. In today's video, we're going to break down the proper way you can start to rotate around the field to not only improve your gameplay, but also help to enable your teammate and allow them to play better as well. To start with, the first thing you need to keep in mind during this video is that different ranks will need different levels of respect given to their abilities. What do I mean by this? Well, your positioning on the field when you are a bronze or silver player is going to be significantly different to when you're a grand champ player or in the higher levels of the game. And this is because at the higher levels, you need to understand and respect the fact that an opponent can hit the ball a lot harder and a lot more accurately than these lower level players. And for this reason, you must be prepared to change your positioning accordingly. The higher the rank you are, the more your opponent will be able to do, and the more you have to keep in mind when judging where you should be positioned. Now, going into a match, the easiest way to understand where you should be positioned and how you should rotate can often be determined by the area of the field you feel you and your teammates can safely cover together. The main point of rotations and proper positioning is to cover the important parts of the field while staying spread enough as to not overlap. The important parts being areas that can, if left unchecked, very easily turn into a shot on goal for your opponent, such as the center of the field. You would be safe to leave the very corners of the field as long as the pressure is applied once a player takes the ball there. Now, this area of safety and the area that you can cover is the area I was speaking of earlier that will change the higher up the ranks you go. And this is why you see games feeling faster higher up the ranks. The game is played faster because each player can cover more of the field by themselves. Therefore, more of the field is covered in general and the game becomes more about pressure and fast decisions than generally just hitting the ball. And yes, while I state that you want as little overlap as possible, sometimes this is unavoidable, and for that reason, it is just something you should stay aware of. There are times where you're naturally going to be in the same space as your teammate, but ensure that you distance yourself while maintaining pressure on the ball or those areas of the field that are threatening, and you should be fine. Now then, when it comes to the actual rotations, I'm sure you've heard the terms first man, second man, and third man or last back. If not, it's fairly simple. The first man is the player closest to the ball that is pressuring the opponent with the ball. The job here is to commit and challenge for the 50-50, hoping to either win the ball or have it bounce away from the opponent and land near the second man. The second man is now the pressure player, the one that either should receive the ball after the first challenge or be going for the next challenge. Then the last player back is the third man. Their job, as you probably could have guessed, is to stay further back and be the last line of defense in case the ball gets sent over the other two or ends up being cleared in general. Now, with these three basic positions down, you bring in rotations. The basic rotation is: the first man challenges while the second man plays far enough back to not have the ball get sent over their head by a challenge, but close enough to be able to react to this challenge and get to the ball first. Once again, this positioning will change based on the rank. Once the challenge happens, the second man pressures the ball. The first man moves back, pushing into a third man position, and the third man pushes up to become the second man. You constantly cover your positions. There is always someone pressuring the ball, always someone ready to react to the challenge, and always someone rotating into or already in that third man position. This ensures that you are steady and have players across the board ready to react to the play no matter where it happens. That is the basic rotation. And with it being so basic, you would wonder why people have such difficulty with it. Well, here are a few things that people do without really realizing that are making their rotations less effective. The first one is one that you probably would have heard from a good friend of mine, Waiton. People don't rotate back post. If you remember anything, remember this. By rotating back post, you allow yourself the best opportunity to save an incoming shot. This is because a back post rotation puts the goal completely in front of you, meaning when the opponent shoots, you only have to move forward to save it instead of the opponent potentially putting the ball behind you and you having been stuck in the middle of the net trying to quickly reverse. Back post always allows you to have a much easier time on defense and also kind of avoids one of the other big problems people have, which is rotating ball side. This is one that I see a lot. Rotating ball side is when you're the first man in a situation, and after your initial challenge, you go to rotate out like normal, but instead of rotating back post, you rotate the same side of the field the ball is on. The reason this is bad is because if you are the second man trying to get possession of the ball, you are going to be moving up the field, not only trying to beat your opponent to the ball, but now you also have to avoid your teammate moving back as well. This also means that the entire other side of the field is left open while your third man pushes up. Essentially, rotating ball side funnels your team into one spot, giving you less coverage around the map and forcing one of your players to have to play to gain possession while also avoiding their own teammate and the opponent. Now, another quick thing I shouldn't really have to say or bring up, but I'll do it anyway because it's gonna happen. Never jeopardize the rotation for boost. You should be able to collect boost pads on the way back every single time. You all already know this, but keep that in mind next time you're heading to the big boost pad as third man and the ball rolls slowly into your net. The last thing I see people not doing, especially the second man, is predicting the outcome of the challenge. You can see once two players 50-50 for the ball, the angle at which it's probably going to come out at. In this case, you can give yourself an area that the ball will probably end up in and turn your car to face that area to be ready to react to the challenge. A lot of the time, people will have their car facing straight forward until the ball has already been sent out of the challenge. But even adding the slightest angle, once you see the way the cars are going to collide, you can give yourself an easier time reaching the ball before an opponent. At the higher ranks, this becomes a very split-second decision, and you'll see players borderline pre-jumping some challenges as they already know how the 50-50 will end, judging by the challenge. Next, the thing you might need to keep in mind as you climb the ranks is that as the first man, after the initial challenge, if you find yourself in some space and have a teammate that is in a position to pass the ball, do not be afraid to stay slightly up the field and wait for that pass. It could be the opening your team needs and it could also catch a player off guard. What this also does is allow you to play very aggressively if they decide to solo play. You can look to bump or demo players to give your team an easier chance shooting on net. I find that I get a decent amount of my goals by playing this upfield position, but unfortunately, there are times where I play this position a little too much and it can leave your teammates in a rough position. So only do this every now and then if the timing is right. Otherwise, try to stick to those back post rotations and allowing your team to naturally cycle through the standard positions. Lastly, how do you apply this to 2v2s? Well, it's actually way easier than you think. Everything is the same except your second man is also the third man. This means that any bad challenges or risky plays can often leave your teammate in a rough situation. The best way I can tell you to play twos if you're unsure of your teammate or how well you'll do is to play passively, helping your teammate whenever you can and making sure you stick to playing the safe game. Remember, you do not need to win every single game by 3 goals. 1 is all that is needed. Play a safer game and don't overextend or go for anything risky when there is no need. Twos is more about being a good player by yourself than relying on a teammate. Play safer and be the teammate you wish you had, and your positions and rotations should fall in line nicely. Now, obviously, there are advanced rotations that can go on forever, but these are not worth covering as they would take ages and not really be effective unless you're in a party at a higher level. So I hope today's positioning and rotation video helped you out. It's something I noticed I'd never really covered before and thought I gotta do my part. We've pretty much covered everything else so far. So if you enjoyed the video, feel free to like because it does really help the channel out a lot, and if you want to see more, consider subscribing. It's free and you get to stay up to date with all the new content. Anyway, that's all from me today. I'll see you next time.